Hey folks, it has been said that I bear some similarities to the late great Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. He'd come in that little door and put on a sweater and zip it all the way to the top, and then he'd unzip it down to where he wanted it. And he'd change out of his penny loafers and put on these little sneakers like kids. I don't think that's quite me, but there is a warmth there, a gentility that I like, and I hope that I do possess that. Several years ago, there was a documentary about Fred Rogers that came out called Won't You Be My Neighbor? I went and saw it. I thought it was wonderful. Sat there next to some stranger, and both of us teared up. And after it, different people, friends of mine, texted me and said, "Oh my gosh, it's Zach Roberts." I think there are worse people to be compared to. Fred Rogers was a good guy. And so here, in my video time, I I was in West Virginia and Kentucky for last week for the holiday, and I visited my home church, Unity Baptist, and somebody came up and said, "Oh, I just follow the videos. I'm so glad to see the videos." And so I think there's so much negativity and nastiness on social media. I'm happy to do these. I don't know how much of a point they have, but maybe it'll brighten your day or cause you to think about something or cause you to laugh. I'd love it if it causes you to send me a text or a message or a phone call. I mention real estate from time to time in these videos. I'd love it if you'd give me a referral. When you think of selling a house, I hope my name is the first one to pop into your head, or your friend is selling a house, or your aunt. So I don't know, but I do these videos and I think they're kind of fun, and I hope you do too. Today I'm going to ramble about a few different things. First, in the one class that I still teach, we had a pickle party. Have you ever had a pickle party? Second semester of the year, I teach American literature, but second semester of the year, I teach particularly Southern literature. And you don't learn these things in a vacuum, or rather, they don't exist in a vacuum. Southern literature is what it is because of politics, philosophy, theology, fashion, geography, weather patterns, you name it. All of these things are interwoven, and that's, if you've ever had me for class, you know that's how I teach. I'm pulling in artwork and weird quotes that you've never heard of and Bible passages and all over the map. And so it's actually very fitting to have a pickle party when you're studying Southern literature, because pickled foods are such a part, and have been for so long, of Southern culture. Before refrigeration, families in the South had to find creative ways to preserve food, and pickling is one of those, especially with as much sugar as there was harvested in the South. We also see sugar showing up in a lot of those pickle processes. So, in class, we had a pickle party, and the kids immediately said, "Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't like pickles. I don't want to try." And I said, "This will be for a grade." And one boy said, "But I don't like pickles." I said, "You don't like homework either, but I still assign that. This will be for a grade." And you know what happened? They brought in all kinds of things, and you got extra points if it was homemade. And I said, it doesn't even have to be you who made it. If Great Aunt Tessie made it and gave it to you to bring, then so be it. And I'd emphasize creativity. Don't bring Vlasic pickles that are cucumbers. I want to see pickled okra and pickled carrots. And so we had quite a showing. I was impressed. I was pleased. Excuse me. And we had pickled apples, which I had never had before. Very good. I highly recommend. We had pickled potatoes. Didn't love those. I thought they were, it's hard to mess up a potato. It wasn't bad, but it just didn't help the potato. I mean, I'd take a mashed potato or a baked potato or a French fried potato any day over a pickled potato. I took pickled eggs. And the students knew I was going to bring pickled eggs. They did not know that they would be purple. And so when I brought them in and had the jar and pulled the egg out, they went, Mr. Roberts, why are they purple? And I said, calm down. It's because you pickle the beets and then you use the juice from the pickled beets to pickle the eggs. Somehow that didn't bring them comfort. You and I both know beets taste like dirt. I love beets, but they taste like the ground. Anyhow, no one loved the pickled eggs except me. I love them. There were a couple who said, I could learn to like them. It's an acquired taste. That's fair. I understand. I get that. All in all, this was the takeaway. When you put a grade on the pickled items, suddenly people are far more willing to try them. And the students got 1 point per item that they tried. And it was extra credit points if you bring in the things. So it worked out really well. Except for the one boy who skipped because he didn't want to do either. All in all, I highly recommend it. At your home, you should host a pickle party. Get the ladies together from the church Bible study. Have a pickle party. Get the bros together down at the bowling alley. Have a pickle party. It was fun. Second, this is a real estate moment. I have a client. He's been looking for a house for, I don't know, a month, maybe a month and a half. And I'm watching him get beat down. I think he's tired of looking. I think he's tired of searching. And so we went to see a house this week, and I could see he doesn't love this house. And as your agent, I have to be the voice of reason sometimes. You may not love the house. Even if it's the right house, you may not love it. But there still should be some spark. There should be some excitement there. And he just didn't have it. And so by the end of the visit, he said, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and put an offer on the house. And I felt torn. I felt a little conflicted. This is somebody who's also a buddy of mine. And so he said, I'm going to wait a couple of days. This is a house that had some special circumstances in how to present an offer and a specific timeline. And so today he texted, he said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the offer. And I wrote back and I said, I don't ever want to be the one to talk you into or talk you out of buying a home. But I just have to point out that you really don't seem excited about this house. And it is going to be your home. I know that there's a point where you have to make some concessions. You have to make some compromises. And in his particular price range, he's going to have to make a couple of those compromises. But this one, I said, I really believe that you might wake up one day and feel some regret. The house is fine. The house is fine. I believe it's a good house. I don't think he would love being as close to the street as he would be. And it's a busy one. He texted back. He said, you're right. He said, I don't need to make an offer. He said, actually, thanks for telling me that. That's an answered prayer. I think he was torn. Are my feelings getting in the way? Is this actually a fine house and I need to just take it because it'd be fine for me, it'd be good for me? Or is it really not the right house for me? And like I said in that text to him, I don't want to be the one to talk him into or out of buying a house. So I said, that last text came as your friend. I think the right house may be right around the corner. And sometimes I know a girl who last summer bought a house because she was at the end of the rope and she just had to pick one and move on. And she said, I love my house. I love my house. I think that's great. And I know when I picked the house that I live in, it had some issues. If you've ever been to my house, you know that the floors are painted black and you still have to walk through a bedroom to get to the only bathroom in the house. I still chose the house, even though I had a buddy who said, that is not the one. Don't you dare pick that house. I love my house. So input can be helpful. Input can be a hindrance sometimes. Hopefully, if you're working with a real estate agent, your agent will know you. You will trust each other. And had my client today really pushed and he said, no, I want to go ahead and put that offer in, I would have written it up. That's my job. Loyalty to the client. But as his friend, I also felt like I needed to be the one to say, this may not be the right one. Thirdly, I've had an interesting experience lately. My college alma mater, Hampton-Sydney College, is celebrating its 250th anniversary. Yes, you do the math, 1775. And a few weeks ago, Hampton-Sydney hosted a 75-mile march, or a 75-mile hike. And it was to recreate a march that took place around the Revolution, the American Revolution from Great Britain. And the whole point of this, Patrick Henry was governor at the time. By the way, Patrick Henry sent all 7 of his sons to Hampton-Sydney College. Patrick Henry put out this request across the state of Virginia asking for young men to come to Williamsburg, which was the capital at the time, so that they could serve in the Continental Army, so that they could serve in fighting against the British. And about 40 men from Hampton-Sydney packed up and marched to Williamsburg. And so in celebration of that and the 250th anniversary of the college, they recreated that march. I think that's so unusual, and I loved it. You're probably wondering, Zach, did you march 75 miles? And no, I did not. But I did 17, and that's something. There were only a handful who did the full 75. One guy, this guy is a beast. He really impressed me a couple of different ways. I got to walk with him and talk with him a lot. And he ran about 20 miles of that, 40 miles of that. I don't remember how many, but he ran quite a bit of it and walked quite a bit of it as well. So I showed up, jumped in. You could do any portion of the 75 that you wanted, if it was 1 mile or all 75. Mixed into this, the college has a reenactment club, and so they brought their gear. They gave a presentation one night. It was over 3 days, by the way. I should have specified. And they explained what it would have been like to camp out, to serve in the military, the clothing they would wear, all of the different things. This is something that when I was a student at Hampton-Sydney, there is no way I would have signed up to do. And now I'm signing up for things that are different and fun and out of the ordinary, and I absolutely loved it. Was I sore? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. Moral of the story, have a pickle party. Take a 17-mile hike to celebrate the American Revolution. And hire me as your real estate agent. Okay? Hope y'all are having a great day, a great week. It's been beautiful weather here in sunny Greensboro, North Carolina. I've been working out in the yard a ton. And I'll do another video soon. By the way, did you notice my shirt, Frost Top? This is my favorite hot dog place in Huntington, West Virginia. It's way better than the other ones. Stewart's is the worst. Okay, love y'all. Bye.